Have you seen the recent collab between Kim Kardashian and Beyond Meat? If you haven't, check out this video and let me know what you think.
I believe so much in the mission of Beyond Meat that I've stepped in to help with my greatest asset, my taste. This plant-based meat is not only amazingly delicious, but it's also better for you and better for the planet. It's a simple change that makes a really big difference. So good. And now that I'm Beyond Meat's Chief Taste Consultant, there's never been a better time to go beyond.
So this video was shared on Kim Kardashian's Instagram page to over 314 million people. And even though the likes were less than her other posts, the engagement was sky high, with lots of people being really critical. And today I'm going to go through some of the comments responding to them. Hope you enjoyed the video. So a lot of the comments centered around Beyond Meat not being very healthy. And first up, I just want to say I don't think the Beyond Burger is a health food. It's sold in fast food chains like McDonald's. So whenever Beyond Meat talk about the health benefits of their products, I'm a little bit confused. But the thing of health is it's a relative thing. And what we do know is, according to a Stanford study from a couple of years ago, the health outcomes from people that had Beyond Burgers compared to traditional beef burgers was marginally but significantly better. And this kind of makes sense, right? Because in the Beyond Burger, you don't have the cholesterol, you have less saturated fat, you got more fiber, and you got more iron. Jimmy Kubik says, did you know that Beyond Meat is one of the worst foods you can eat? And what are you talking about, Jimmy? Are you talking about health? We just talked about that. Or are you talking about the environment? Because without trying to sound like a sales rep for Beyond Meat, its products use 99% less water, 93% less land, 90% fewer greenhouse gas emissions, and 46% less energy than a traditional beef burger. So if we're thinking about the environment, it's actually significantly better than most products. If we're talking about health, we've just addressed that. It's marginally better, but of course it's not health food. If we're talking about public health, 0 antibiotics used, 0 pandemic risk. And if you're talking about ethics, animal rights, well, 0 animal slaughter. But look, I understand when you look at the Beyond Burger ingredients and there's 5 or 10 things and you compare that to like a lamb chop or a traditional steak, why there might seem like, oh, hold on a sec, Beyond Meat's got a bunch of ingredients and maybe it's not as good for the environment. But what you're not seeing there is the fact that animal agriculture is very intensive. It requires things like water, energy, and land, which makes it overall significantly worse for the environment than a Beyond Burger, which yes, might have a few ingredients. And this is out of the same playbook that the dairy industry use to criticize plant-based milks. They say plant-based milks has all of these ingredients. They've got preservatives, they've got a little bit of salt, and they got this, they got that. So therefore, it's not very good. It's not very good for your health. And it's like, no, you're kind of missing the point here. Film is, it says Beyond Meat is absolutely the most poisonous product you can eat. Do you ever read the ingredients of that stuff? Now look, to be clear, again, I don't really eat Beyond Burgers that much because it's not real food. This is not sort of like unprocessed plant food. It is processed, so it's not optimal for health, so I don't try and eat it that much. However, if you look at the ingredients in the Beyond Burger, you're talking about things like beet, apple extract, pomegranate extract, some preservatives, a couple of oils. What is it about these ingredients that freak people out to this degree? It's completely disproportionate and over the top. One of the things the commenter says is eat meat, but eat meat that is raised by your local farmer. Now, from my personal experience, the people that talk about local meat, organic, grass-fed, free-range, use all these buzzwords, right? They don't even eat these products in the first place the whole time. They just go down to the supermarket, have your normal animal products. 95 to 99% of animals raised for food come from factory farms. And even if these people, including Filmzik, eat local meat the whole time, this is not sustainable at scale because there's nowhere near enough land. So what you're recommending isn't a solution whatsoever. To put it in perspective, in the US alone, we need 4 times more land than is currently available. And even if there was enough land, the more fundamental point, notwithstanding the ethics, is that there's no unbiased evidence showing that grazing livestock sequester more carbon than the animals produce in the first place. I'll say that again because we're all used to people talking about organic grass-fed meat being good for the environment, but it's not, it's worse because it requires more land than factory farming. So again, we come back to the central issue that this system, whether through factory farming or free-range farming, is simply unsustainable. Why Normalista says, just wish it was organic. If things are not organic, it causes phytoestrogens which create hormones. 80% of women that have breast cancer have this type of cancer, and a lot of it is from the phytoestrogens in non-organic foods, along with environmental exposures. Okay, first up, normalista, I don't know how to pronounce your Instagram handle. Secondly, I don't really know what you're talking about because the Beyond Burger is GMO free, and secondly, it's soy free. So even if you believe these myths about soy being feminizing and having these harmful effects, it's not true, and secondly, it doesn't apply here. There are a lot more comments in the video talking about how Beyond Meat is not very healthy, talking about how there's loads of chemicals, how it's toxic, phytoestrogens, all these kind of buzzwords that I think emanate from this deep-rooted vision, romantic vision of a farmer raising their animals in a healthful, sustainable, and ethical way, which is simply not true. And here's the thing, even if you support a system that breeds billions of animals into existence to be slaughtered because you think, well, you know, they're raised humanely and all this sort of stuff. First up, I disagree, but let's just pretend you're okay with that. You're okay with animals being raised in a healthful way and then being slaughtered against their will. Well, this is not sustainable at scale for reasons that I've talked about before. So unless you're gonna have a tiny amount of animal protein like a couple of times a year, this is not a system that's replicable for the rest of the world. So get off your high horse and get on board the future, which is supporting brands like Beyond Meat, Beyond Burger. And actually, you don't even need to support these brands, because if you want to eat a healthful plant-based diet, devoid of processed foods, replete with things like fruits, vegetables, legumes, grains, nuts and seeds, you can. And what we're seeing is that those who are health motivated will inevitably shift towards this kind of lifestyle as awareness grows, which is already happening in films like The Game Changers, changing people's perception. It's already happening with major dietetic associations coming out saying a vegan diet is nutritionally adequate for all stages of life. It's already happening with prestigious medical journals revealing that you can reverse the progression of our biggest killers, such as type 2 diabetes, on a plant-based diet. So get on board the future, but that future simply cannot involve animal agriculture. And if we're to bow down to ancestors, if we're to give that system the nod and keep perpetuating the status quo, we're in effect signing our own death sentence for the future. Thank you so much for listening to me today. If you're a Beyond Meat hater, let me know in the comments, and see you guys very soon.